talk with him, Glenn, so.
Tommy's sitting right here.
Oh, I'm right here.
All right, future growth and development.
Got the
Joseph,
attachment, Eddie, or?
You see the attachment, no question.
why does he even come? Ask him.
What'd you say?
Yeah, I know. All righty,
Anything else, Joe, that you need to share with us that's upcoming or?
We are working on a few possible projects. We're looking at, they have potential, they're not really in nature. A lot for the downtown area, working with Tony Pence on a few things to see what we can bring back to you, if anything, on some downtown projects.
Reno's is moving to Ponderosa,
Oh.
so that'll help that area out there. The Ponderosa was built, it was just purchased by 3 local businessmen, and they're gonna be leasing it to Ponderosa. They hope to have it open in,
Reno's.
Reno's, hope to have it open in March. So that'll help really give a shot in the arm to that.
Outdoor seating.
Yeah.
Now, there
Outdoor
was
seating, music, things.
Yeah, there was a rumor about a hotel coming to town.
Working on that end of it, looking at some things. If that comes to the forefront, it will come to the council, and they will be looking at some
Incentives?
incentives to locate in that area. But there is a possibility, and there is definite interest at this point.
What area?
It'd be conference center area. They would prefer to be at the conference center, not interested in anywhere else
Not on, near.
within the downtown,
Okay.
right?
On top.
As close as possible.
Well, they want to attach to,
Be adjacent to.
attach.
yes, that would be a requirement of theirs, is to be attached to.
All right, any other questions for Joe?
Just on planning and development, since Joe Plank's here, just want to compliment the hospital
Here, here.
on the superb job they did with the new parking lot. It's very attractive. It incorporates water retention. Landscaping is just spectacular. So
Sidewalks.
great sidewalks. Thank you very much, Joe.
Joe, we drove the engineers over there the other day and was showing them an example of that, and that's the example we want people to do for future development. So we appreciate it.
You're welcome.
And I know you all came to the planning commission a couple of times and got the kinks worked out, and that's the way it's supposed to be done right there. Appreciate it,
Excellent
Joe.
job.
Anything else for Joe or anything else on future growth and development? Anything else? All right, we'll move in then to number 10,
Very nice.
ratification of payment of monthly bills and statements.
So moved.
All right, any discussion?
I've got a question.
Yeah.
I called Helen.
What page you on, Jen?
Well, I don't know, because I've messed my pages all up. It's the one to the interior decorator.
Tell her, Bruce, if she had her computer, she was going to Just saying.
Yeah, interior's on a budget.
Doesn't have a page number.
It says first stage of decorating. What's
Yes,
the second?
there may not be one. I'll tell you what it is. Right now, you see this collage right here? She's got 4 other ones she's developing. One with police, one with recreation, one with downtown, and one, but that's minimal cost, but and it may not be, it may not come, but she's got one definitely probably with police and recreation, and we were just gonna go around there, and that was it. There were gonna be like 4 more closets, very, very minimal cost.
Because I was gonna say, we're running out of wall space.
I'll tell you what, the compliments we get from the public, it's 99%. Everybody loves it, so I appreciate your points, though.
I was
Okay.
just curious.
Oh, no, that's okay. Anything else? Questions been called? Please call roll.
Yes.
They don't count, but you didn't get it.
Are you up to me? Yes.
Carew,
Yes.
Franzini.
Yes.
Inslee.
Yes.
Seeger.
Yes.
All right, we're on number 11, and that's general business agenda. Unfinished business, under A1, second reading of an ordinance of the city of Moorhead, Kentucky, closing a portion of Old Second Street.
So moved.
Second.
Second by Ms. Franzini. Any discussion? Hearing none, please call roll.
Atkins. Bishop,
Yes.
Carew,
Yes.
Rosini,
Yes.
Osley,
Yes.
Seeger,
Yes.
And one I'm very proud to read, under 11A2, the second reading of an ordinance changing the street name of a portion of Lee Avenue to John Alcorn Way.
I'll make that motion.
Any discussion?
We actually have a couple brothers here, if we can take a picture, just go back, because unfortunately,
Come on up, fellas.
school was out.
And,
And the son.
yeah,
And go ahead, let's finish the voting, and we'll go ahead and do that. Go ahead, and we've got second, no any discussion. Please call roll.
Atkins,
Yes.
Bishop,
Yes.
Carew,
yes, ma'am.
Rosini,
Yes.
Osley,
Absolutely, yes.
Seeger,
100%.
Well, we'd like to call up Miss Edna, who's been the den mother, dorm mother, university mother to many, many young children, and both male and female. So please come up, and we'll take a picture of you and congratulate you, and I know that he'd be very honored. And all the brothers and Mike and everybody, yeah. Let's come get a quick picture real quick.
We're gonna do a big presentation when the alumni come back.
Where you want to do it?
Me and Glenn will turn sideways, and I'll get up here.
Joyce, get up here.
Go on, Joyce.
Joyce is the new den mother.
Yes.
I can't handle that group.
We just asked you to handle Glenn. That's all.
These are my nephews.
3, 2, 1. We'll take a few more here. 3, 2, 1. One more. 3, 2, 1. Thank you.
And we'll be getting, part of this too is, we'll be having a ceremony, hopefully, once we get the street sign and everything done, we'll do that. When our brothers are back in school, we'll have it up there in front of that house, how about that? Thanks, Mike. Appreciate it.
Thanks, everyone.
Merry Christmas.
We'll see you at the gym.
See y'all. Merry Christmas. Hey, listen, she didn't want to take a job, but I did anyway.
I know.
Well, that was good. All right, that's what we like to do. Moving on now to number 3, second reading of an ordinance amending the City of Moorhead, Kentucky's annual budget, fiscal year 2015 through 6/30/2016 by estimating revenues and resources and appropriating
So moved.
funds. Thank you so much.
Let you go
I
on.
appreciate it. Do we have any discussion? Hearing none, please call roll.
Atkins,
Yes.
Bishop,
Yes.
Carew,
Yes.
Rosini,
Yes.
Osley,
Yes.
Seeger,
Yes.
We're gonna move on then to new business. B1 is resolution.
So moved.
Thank you.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, please call roll.
Atkins,
Yes.
Bishop,
Yes.
Carew,
Yes.
Rosini,
Yes.
Osley,
Yes.
Seeger,
Yes.
B2, request for Parks and Recreation Department to raise individual youth sports fees and daily concession stand fee.
So moved.
Second.
Second, Glenn. Any
Wait a minute,
discuss-
that's just a request.
Oh,
That's just up for
oh.
discussion.
Okay, I'm
We'll
sorry.
have to draft an ordinance, I think Dave wanted to discuss.
I have a question.
Yes.
I'm here for any
I have a
question.
question.
Yeah.
I just wonder how the nonprofit group that will run the concession stand would be chosen?
Usually we have them call early in the year, first come, first served basis.
Oh, I see.
And as they call in, we have a schedule, we look, and we schedule them. And, we get everything to churches, to youth organizations, to,
So how long would a youth organization handle the concession stand?
well, we do it for a night basis.
Oh, night for night,
Yeah.
I see.
Night for night. But now, if we don't see that there's gonna be a lot of people, if there's not,
Maybe 2 nights.
we'll actually schedule them for the whole week.
Yeah, I get it.
If there's not, that way it's not sitting that vacant, because we've had that happen quite a bit.
And a lot of times people will call and say, well, we can definitely man it for a week.
Yeah,
we
and we'll go ahead and do that because we don't get a lot of people sometimes
Sure.
that get.
No, I just didn't
Now,
know how
will the
that
new
was handled.
concession stand be there for spring ball or
It
whatever?
will be operational.
Yeah.
We're hoping.
Well, said yes, and then he said, hope.
Well, it's Mother Nature, Mother Nature, but we're pretty sure.
Right now, Mother Nature is waiting on a plumber.
I mean, what are you looking for?
Well,
Joe's working on it, so I would believe him.
yeah, that's right.
Well,
Well,
I think the prices are certainly in line.
And keep in mind, we're still,
way cheaper.
well,
we're way behind compared to Winchester.
I call
Western
around and
National.
if you don't wanna know what, I mean.
Well, I mean, are these too low? Should we
Well-
be generating more, dude?
I don't feel that if what I did is I got with some of the people who do rent it, and I said, what do you guys typically make? Again, provided they're telling me the truth. But the high end that I found out on a given night is $150 that they're making of a night for about 4 hours. So I don't think it's out, if we get too high with it, then I think we're gonna have issues with, with them being able to rent it.
But now on the rates of
But the rates of other.
participation rates,
That's what I was talking
Participation rates, yeah, I like to bump it $5, but we're still way under. I mean, I have no. you know,
David, tell me what happens when we have a child who can't afford this.
Usually the children go through, well, first of all, we don't ever turn away any kids. We don't. Man, I put that out there, then everyone was gonna pay, but. But, it's kinda stupid, wasn't it? Anyway, family resource kicks in a lot. Family resource centers through the schools.
and you have
kick in a lot.
individuals too, they'll step up and pay extra.
Yeah, we have individuals that'll do that, and pay extra for another child, maybe a neighbor or so forth. We have that. Typically, we don't have a whole lot of kids that are sponsored per se, but we do have a few. And I'm sure we have some take advantage of it, knowing that we're not gonna turn them away. But if I could just get them in on time, I'll take any suggestions on that. If I can just get them in on time.
Get them in on time and you offer a discount for early, like we do with our taxes.
I guess what I would say as far as them maybe still being on the low end, I would rather see them, do something like every year or two, look at it
And that's why I'm
and then
coming
try to hit it
forward.
all at once.
Maybe
That's
go
why I'm
5,
coming
5,
forward.
and so on and so forth. if you
Yeah.
wanted to, yeah.
Phase it in, as
So
they say.
you want me to bring
For
back
instance,
this
youth
ordinance?
football,
Yes, I would.
at Mount Sterling, it's $100.
Ooh.
It's 40 here.
They're higher in Georgetown too.
Yeah.
Ashland, Winchester, all of them.
You're not playing more cheaper.
No. Okay, you want her to bring back an ordinance?
Sure.
Okay. All righty, any other questions for Dave on that? He's got a presentation here in a little bit, but anything else on that? All right. Please call roll.
Well, you don't need a roll.
Oh, I'm sorry, I was thinking something else. Number 5, announcement of Homeland Security grant awarded
He's
to,
got
Yeah, we got three, number 3.
You still got a lot more to go, but we're not voting on any of them.
Yeah.
Refund
cancellation policy and refund request form.
This is something that Chrissy threatened me within an inch of my life if I don't start doing my deposits more diligently.
Explain
You
to
want me to
her,
explain?
let her explain a typical scenario.
Yeah, I understand. The auditors would really like for me to get my deposits done more diligently than what I have. And the reason why that I haven't deposited every single day is simply because we may not know if a program's gonna take or not. So if I've only got 20 kids in a program and I need, 50 to make it a go, I'll hold that in the safe and then I'll refund them back. That's how I've always been doing it. I understand that's not really the best way of doing it, but to keep from having to deposit and then cut a check out of the general fund, and I've just been holding their money, holding their check. And I know it's not necessarily the best thing to do, but that's what I've been doing, because there's been instances where a program didn't go and we just called them back and we tore their check up or they come back out their cash.
We need to do
But
what
the
the
auditors don't
what the
like that.
auditor says. We need to do what the
Amen.
auditor says.
But this is more about giving a 50% refund on someone
Yeah,
that's paid and it makes. That's the policy we're looking at, isn't it?
Well, there will be forthcoming a written policy as far as taking payments. What he was
Deposits.
talking about,
Yeah.
signing
But-
kids up, but this is just more of, like if they have to refund the money because the program doesn't go, or if people decide their kid can't participate,
Right.
instead of just holding the checks and the risk of it being lost or something happening to it.
So what does the auditor say? A daily deposit or week, I mean, what is appropriate?
Yeah, what's a timely deposit?
Daily,
Okay.
but, I mean, they may
Okay,
not
again,
have.
I still think we're talking about two different things. We have
Yes.
a policy in front of us that's talking about giving a 50% refund.
Right.
Okay, refund cancellation.
If you choose not to.
If they choose not to apply, then we're giving them 50%.
Yeah.
And we're-
So what are you asking us for?
The request is if you want an ordinance written on
Yeah,
this.
we can include that in the, fee ordinance, the refund.
Sure,
policy.
okay.
I'm fine.
I just looked at some other cities, what they were doing as far as this, and kinda read it based on what some other cities were doing. Theirs was higher. I don't know if you don't think 50% is fair, I mean, you know, it's just for discussion.
I think it's fair, especially if it's after the first game, because they've got their
Sure.
uniform. And we've already been through that expense.
Yeah.
And that's what'll happen a lot of times, they'll go play the first game, or they'll get their uniform not like the coach, and decide they're not gonna play, and Dave gives their money back.
And from
But
what
this
I've heard,
is-
there's been issues about people turning in things, turning back in equipment or uniforms, is that right?
But,
Well, football's one thing we
Yeah.
do.
but let's be clear on this, the way I'm reading this, in the scenario you just said, if I pay my $50, $40, whatever it is, if I don't cancel 10 days before the start of the activity, I don't get anything back.
Right.
Right.
That's what-
But if I
And-
cancel the 11th day before the activity starts, I get 50%. That's what we're stating.
No,
That's what it says.
Is a refund request?
Well, they show a 50% refund for program registration fees if it's submitted 10 days prior to the start of the activity.
Right. If you do
So-
11 days, then you don't get anything.
No, 11 days
More
prior,
than
I'd
10.
get half, but 9 days prior, I wouldn't get anything.
I think we can rework that.
Yeah. I
That
mean,
needs
you
to be
know,
just more, yeah, we need to look at that.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
wording is a little confusing.
Because,
Yeah.
yeah, and I think the reason,
Well,
You see-
I don't have a problem with it
Yeah.
if you're buying the uniforms 10 days ahead.
Oh, they're way ahead.
I mean, if we're already out that money, I could see that. But I do
I
think
think
you
we
have
need
to
to make
look
it
at
happen.
whether we've given them uniforms, whether we,
How about this? How about something that's quasi, have something that's like that, but how about this? If they begin the program and they do not continue it, they simply return the cost of the uniform.
What's the cost of the uniform?
Reimburse the city.
Reimburse the city.
well, it's gonna be different for each.
Off the
city.
top of
No,
my
I
head, I
just
don't
did
know.
a standard
It's
fee.
different for different.
It is different, isn't it?
I'd
Okay.
rather stick with just the.
The fee,
Well,
this the
I don't
fee.
have a problem with this, I just wanna make sure everybody understood what we're reading. I have no problem with it. I don't know how it works with the 10 days. If you're already out the money for the uniform, then I think that's fair. But I do think you're gonna have a lot of people that
Yeah,
are
I think we need to look at it.
gonna come in 2 weeks before, put their money down, and 5 days
We look
later,
at
they're gonna
wording.
come in and say, look, something came up and I can't do it, and they're gonna be mad because you only give them half the money back.
Right.
So you're gonna have to deal with that.
Well,
Yeah.
it says if it's for medical relocation, that's different.
That's the
Well,
only
that's-
exceptions.
Yeah, those are the.
And it's,
But
and
if I find out that basketball practices start at the same time, then they're gonna get, maybe that's okay.
I think Dan's got a question.
yeah, go ahead.
Your uniforms, they cost more usually than 50% of the fee to play, doesn't it?
No, it's close, but no, well, when I say that,
Depends on
I
the
have to go
sport.
back and look.
Some programs
Some
are,
of
some
it,
programs
some of
aren't.
it does.
Depending on the sport.
Yeah,
Yeah,
if you're
Yeah,
talking about
yeah, some of it
real
does.
soccer,
Baseball
it's not
probably
gonna do
would.
it.
Yeah.
Plus you get
But if you're talking about
sponsorships.
youth
too.
football.
I mean, I think we should recover the cost of the uniform,
Yeah.
you know, and if it's more than.
Is it?
Once you guys work this
Too
out.
blatant? Yeah, I just think they see all or nothing. This 50% thing, I think it's just all or nothing.
I agree, if you bought the uniforms, they don't get anything.
I think because
What's your deadline for registration before an activity starts?
it's
Let's go that
usually
way.
2 weeks before, at least 2 weeks before.
Well, you
Let's
all
give
work
time
it
to
out and
practice.
figure out how much you need to recoup,
Yeah.
all or none or whatever.
I agree.
And I would say, if your deadline is 2 weeks before, that's your date, that's your
Yeah,
main
you
date. If
spent
I've
that
got your
money.
money by then, you come in after
I'm in
that,
favor of that.
then you don't
I'm
get a
all for
refund.
that.
You don't get it, yeah.
You just paid for the one that couldn't pay.
I'm
I
all
agree.
for that.
That's right.
We'll work out the details.
Okay.
Do you have a lot of that?
No,
What, 10, 5%?
yeah, something like that.
Yeah. Anything else on that subject? Well, Dave, we'll call you up to do number 5, 4.
Cam's gonna help me out here, he's gonna serve 2 roles.
I'm just a.
One, he's gonna tackle me if I get out of hand. 2, he's gonna be my clicker. Sit over there if
Not
you
going
want.
on Saturday.
No, he would never pay pass insurance. Michael, could you flip one of those lights for us?
Well, did you pass that candy around here while I'm moving?
That's perfect, right there, perfect.
No candy.
Is it a popcorn?
No candy.
I can eat the whole lot.
Speaking of the candy, who's Laura? That doesn't, she's
That's
in
all right.
Raleigh.
That's one of my coworkers.
Uh-huh.
Sure. No, that's good stuff. I would if he's now. Homemade's all this stuff, huh?
This will be interesting.
All right. Okay, let me get out of here all the way here. I'll stand up, she leaves.
No, I need to Ellie.
Okay.
I think there's peanut butter on the bottom.
Hey, Tom, put that back here. You didn't want it to begin with.
Maybe gone.
Okay.
Move that flower, Cam, or that chair. Kick that chair over it, don't kick the chair over. What? Over that way, see the head of the chair.
Move the flower first.
Now put the fire back.
Oh.
Or watch the PowerPoint.
You got it.
No pop.
Let's roll.
All right.
Beth knows about this.
Okay, first of all, I want to thank you for listening to me. It's not often I get the chance to actually put together something and bring it before you all. But keep in mind, I'm speaking as a liaison, if you will, and I'm going to go to the city, to the county, the school board, to tourism. I'm trying my best to help out any way we can with a project that I hope I can get you all to support. And the proposal, as the slide says, is to have city council partnership for the Round County Senior High School for expansion and use of the upgraded football/soccer field at the Round County Senior High School. Had the opportunity to speak with most of y'all individually. Carolyn, I didn't get a chance to speak with you, so any questions that you have on this along the way, I'll try my best to answer. When I started this, when I started looking at my budget, I started looking at it really close and looking at the city's overall budget, and I tried my best to do my homework with that. This is something that the school system has tried to get done for several years now, and that is putting down synthetic turf, artificial turf, on the high school football field, and also have it for the use of soccer. Now, to do that, to make it wide enough, and we'll get into the slides as we go, to make it wide enough, they'll have to take out the interior 2 lanes of the track to go from an 8-lane track to a 6-lane track to make it suitable for competition soccer or regional and state soccer play, and obviously for football. Now, if they didn't take out the interior 2 lanes, it could still be utilized for soccer for district play, but not for regional or state play. So there's a criteria they have to meet. 65 feet, I think, is the minimum for a regional and state play. So
What we've looked at there too, and you may say it, by taking 2 lanes out, we would not be able to hold a regional track meet.
So it's a double-edged sword. You either don't have a regional track meet or you don't have regional soccer games. So it's a double-edged sword, and it's ultimately up to the school board what they would like to do with that. But I think they're going to have to look at the numbers, how many kids are involved in what particular activity, and so forth. As we move forward, next slide.
Adding 2 lanes to the outside.
Couldn't do that.
Can't do it.
Wrong side.
Yes, wrong side, yeah. The proposal is to assist the Round County School Board to upgrade the existing field by putting down synthetic turf and use this / soccer field.
This is the Round County football field.
This is the football field at present day. And what we started looking at is that this field can only be pretty much utilized for 5 ball games a year because it gets ripped up, torn up, muddy, and so on and so forth. As I started pushing further with this and looking more into this, the one thing we didn't even talk about is what the tourism implications could be here. If we could ever get band tournaments back here again, band alone fills these hotel rooms up. And the band, when they do have tournaments, have to utilize Moorhead States Field. They're paying $3,000 to $3,500 for one day. I'm paying right now, you all, the city, is paying $1,500 a day for a youth football game for one day. The youth soccer, the school soccer is paying $1,500 a day for one day.
For
So-
the use of this field?
No, for the use of the university field.
University.
To take advantage of the turf.
To take advantage of the turf and the weather and so on and so forth. So I have felt like, and we'll go ahead and go to the next slide. I felt like that with $10,000 a year out of our budget, 10 grand a year out of our budget for 10 years. And if I get the county to go on board with this very same principle, $10,000 a year for 10 years. I've already spoken with Joy, the tourism. She's very interested in it, simply from the tourism standpoint that obviously things could bring. That we can get this done, not 5 years now down the road, 10 years down the road, but now. Because Mr. Moore has indicated to me that if we can do this and be a partner on this, if we can do this, the school system can go to the local, and correct me if I'm wrong, Glenn, the school system can go to the local banking and get a loan for the rest. Now keep in mind the school system, before a lot of people, I know a lot of people get up in arms, you know, the school raises taxes, they should be able to do this. And I understand that. I was one of them. I was one of those people. And Glenn can correct me if I'm wrong on this as well. Let's keep in mind the school system cannot get any bonding authority for any outdoor recreation or outdoor athletic facilities at this time. And that's not just Brown County, that's all school districts.
Is that a new regulation or?
No, it's always been on.
It's always been that way.
You basically can't bond athletics.
So basically, they can't afford it, we can't afford it, county can't afford it, but I just feel like if we could just all get beyond this and work together, this is something we can do nice for the community as a whole. You know, we shouldn't let Fleming County and some of these other places, Montgomery County, and we're going to see the slides, but we should be able to have nice facilities too. And if we can do it for $10,000 a year, I think we can do it within our budget. I know we can do it within our budget. Let me say that. Within my budget, I can do it, if pressed.
What are you asking tourism for?
I'm going to basically go to them and see what, I've already met, not a dollar amount yet. It'd be nice if I did the 10 just like that. But, you know, I told Joy the other day, it's $5,000 a year. For $5 lousy grand a year, and if the city and the county, we got $250,000 towards this project. And it can be done. And it won't be done 5 years from now, it'll be done quickly.
Probably done over the summer.
I've met with Mr. Moore 4 times over this. And he feels very confident that we can do this. Now, with that in mind, what are we going to get out of this? Because I wouldn't even be standing in front of you today wasting my time if it wasn't beneficial for us. This would not be done. It will not be done unless we have an agreement, a contractual agreement with Joyce, the school system, that says that we are the ones utilizing this facility on Saturday mornings for our youth football league on home games, and for any inclement weather days that we can't use the Mahaney soccer complex because it's muddy and rainy out and so on and so forth, that we'd be able to utilize it for our kids there. Yes.
And also, something we talked about too is, you know, when we have spring, we try to get practices in to make sure we get enough Little League practices in. They could be out there practicing. We've sent people up there before to utilize Moorhead State.
And we have.
They could quadrant off that and have baseball. I mean, there's so many.
There's so many things that, you know,
It's not just about
so many things that, and another thing that I haven't even addressed that we probably need to address. We've not done things for special needs kids. This would give us an opportunity to do some things there as well. Not to say we can't do it on grass fields, but it would give us another benefit, another opportunity to do some things. But back to the band competitions, as we started looking into this, this would be a tremendous asset for bringing tourism. And here I am. I know nothing about band, by the way. I'm a football guy, if anything. But this is a tremendous asset for bringing. It makes me think about when I was a kid, all the band competitions that they used to have, and how many people they bring. A lot of people. So when Joy and I were speaking about that, she's the one who brought that up. And just think about that now. $3,500 are paying to the MSU for the band. I'm paying, the city's paying $1,500 a year. You know, the soccer board's paying $1,500 a year. You know, this is something we can do together, and we have some ownership with it. And this little statistical data, well, that's on the next slide, I guess. But you know, I've already covered. There's no bonding for outdoor recreation facilities. That is correct, right? There's no bonding at this time for any outdoor recreational.
You can't bond anything unless you can tie it to an educational component.
All right, next slide. I've already covered that. Mr. Moore has already indicated that if we can work together on this, he feels confident that KDE would approve it, and then we can move forward and get the funding here locally. The overall estimated cost, and these are actual numbers as of today, is $973,000, and we're going to get into the breakdown a little bit more of it. But that's the actual cost. It's went up over the past few years. If we could have saved a little bit if we'd done this, you know, 4 or 5 years ago. But
And when Dave gets into the cost, keep in mind that that's not for the turf.
No.
The turf is actually cheaper than that. You'll see as he gets into that. But
No.
everybody thinks it's $1 million to put turf down. There's a lot of
prep work. This is conservatively estimate, just with youth soccer and football. I've come up with 700 kids. That's very conservative. It could be more than that, but it's safe to say 700 kids are involved in youth soccer and football. Again, it'll greatly enhance our overall recreational opportunities with a safe field of play. That's another thing we didn't even talk about. That's something I don't have to worry about sending the maintenance guys down to fill in a hole, because there's, you know, a hole built in the middle of the field and so forth. You know, if we have the opportunity to use something like this, especially for my youth football league, those are concerns that we don't have to worry about. And I know it sounds like I'm pushing football there a little bit, but looking at the community overall, we really only have 2 football fields right now. And one of those is going to go away. I'm not naive. I know it's going to go away. Probably sooner than later. And that's behind the old Brown County Middle School. So when that field goes away, we've got one field in this community for everything that I'm talking about right now.
Your 700 number, that includes school participation
Yes,
as
ma'am.
well as youth.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, and I said it's conservative
I know,
too, but yeah.
Sure.
The community park, are we not using that one multipurpose field?
We use it for practice.
Okay.
I'm pretty much playing all of our games now at the old middle school field down there. And like I said, that property gets sold, and you know, I know what's going to happen. We're done.
And even the community field park he's alluding to is the plans on that to be sold eventually too.
Yeah,
And it's
could
just a
be.
practice. We have nowhere to practice in.
Could be. So, you know, we have the opportunity to have something like this.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So we do have Sunnybrook too. So-
Yeah. But if we have the opportunity with something like this, for this amount of money, I guess I need to keep pushing that. For this amount of money, for the cost of a used pickup truck a year for 10 years. And again, if I had to, we can work it out of our own budget now, if I'm pressed to. Really could. I think it's a worthwhile project. Next slide. These are just some examples. This is a team that we play that's on our schedule, playing soccer as well as football. It shows you the lines, how the lines are wider than the actual field for soccer, and how the soccer lines are on there. This is Johnson Central. Again, when I speak about these communities, these were paid for, paid for with city, county, in this particular instance, some coal severance tax money, but city, county, helping with the school districts. Next slide. This is Montgomery County, again, right down the road. I don't know if you're like me, I'm so tired of hearing about what Mount Sterling has and what we don't have. Tired of it. This is something we can do. And they've got a very nice facility, beautiful facility.
Do they have a track there?
Their track is up top. There's another grass field, and their track is around the grass field.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it should be known, Montgomery County, I don't want to get too much into this, but they have what's called 3 nickels. Okay, nickels are a 5% tax added for facilities that have to be matched locally. I mean, you generally get locally that it gets matched by the state. They've done 3 additional nickels. When we built the middle school, we have 1 additional nickel that helped us with bonding. Now, how they end up feeding this into that is they're using their excess capital outlay funds, which are those taxes, to pay for these kind of things. So they're not going out and bonding to do these things, but they have so much tax money that they end up with what's called excess, that is a little more usable. We don't have that here, and I don't think we would want to go again and ask for another nickel.
No.
No.
And again, even that, you couldn't ask for a nickel for the purpose of building an athletic field. It would
Right.
have to be another project, and then eventually you end up with extra money. So, we're not going that route, but that's what Montgomery County's done,
I understand.
so they have a lot higher tax base.
Next slide. Scott High School, another team we played in the playoffs this year.
This is not Scott County, this is
Not
Scott
Scott
High
County.
School up in Taylor Mill, Kentucky, in northern Kentucky.
No, they don't play soccer on that, right?
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's got soccer lines on it. You can't see them, they're blue. Yeah, you can see them when you get up here close, they're blue.
Do they have 8 track lanes out?
Yeah, they got 8-track lanes, that's a huge facility too, though.
Bless you, bless you.
So how can those, how can they have an 8-track
They
lane?
got the space.
Well,
That's
they
what
got
I'm
the
saying.
space, whereas you go back to Round County, go back to the very first.
It's our.
Our stadium, our seating is in the way.
Yeah, seating's in the way, the concrete, the pad is in the way.
We don't have enough room.
Yeah.
You can't roll it.
Oh, can
He doesn't keep it rolling
There
right
you go.
there.
There you go.
God love
Right
you.
here,
Yeah, we're too tight.
you can't get good help anywhere.
Yeah.
Concrete pad and seating's in the way here, and then
Which
you
paper
get into
that?
the road around there,
You'd
and
be
back here you
another $1
could.
million to change that.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Use the dial. There you go. Yeah.
Boy.
All right, go ahead, next. Bourbon County, they just did theirs. Another beautiful facility, they use it for soccer as well. City of Paris helped out, Bourbon County helped out with the school district on that. I spoke with the lady, or I think it was a lady with the City of Paris. She could not remember exactly how much they put towards it. I did have a nice conversation with her. The next one I talked a lot with, well, not McGoffin, I guess Sheldon Clark's not on there? I guess it's not. Sheldon Clark's, which is not on there. Sheldon Clark, I spoke with her at length, and they secured money from Inez and Clark County Fiscal Court, and a little bit of, Martin County, I'm sorry, Martin County. Clark County, Martin County, and also they did secure a little bit of coal severance tax money for it as well. McGoffin County, I'm honestly not sure, it's brand spanking new, they just built that thing. I'm not sure if I know their field used to get flooded all the time because it was right on the creek, and I'm not sure if they got some assistance with that or not, but I do know McGoffin County just got theirs built, just put theirs down. And that's in a different location than what it was,
Yeah,
obviously.
that's right.
That's on top of a big hill.
Yeah, the one beside the road's not there anymore.
Yeah. So, with that in mind, again, I said this project could be done. It enhances our further enhances our facilities by upgrading our dated and aged facilities. And again, it's not about me, it's not about us, it's not about any of the adults in this room, the school board, fiscal court. I'm gonna approach them tomorrow morning at 7:30. Be right there on their doorstep. This is a project that's for our community, and we just need to remember that it's for our kids, for our community, for everyone involved. It's not about anybody. I know a lot of us don't see eye to eye on some things, but this is the opportunity I think that can be funded with much of a dent to our budget, our overall budget. No, but I will. I don't know if they'll set something up annually or not.
Well, they can help them offset some of that negative publicity they
Sure,
got over the future.
and I agree with that too. I agree. As I spoke about earlier, it's not just going to involve athletics. It can involve band competitions, military skills class, track and field, general public use, and the list goes on and on. And next slide. Now, this is the breakdown of the actual cost. The school system has already done all the groundwork in terms of this. They've already done their soil samples, the geotechnical stuff has been done, and everything's been done all the way up to date. These costs, again, are up to date, too. They were 5 years old prior to getting with them. Ross Tarrant, our architects, is the same architectural firm that's out there at the school now, that's doing all the renovations that they've have going on right now. I am correct on that, right, Glenn? Okay. And that's the real cost of basically what's being done. When they talked about asphalt D zones, if you want to go back to one of those pictures, what they call D zones, you can go to the round county. The D zone, this is what they call the D zone. This one's turf. And if you wanted asphalt and with the rubberized crumb rubber on the asphalt for track purposes or high jump or long jump events, you could do it in asphalt. But this picture here that they have is in turf, and that's what they call D zones. So you can go back to that figure.
And the track would be would stay at 4 lanes or go to 2 lanes?
It would go from 8 to 6.
6, my bad.
8 to 6.
And we would lose the ability to
Host a regional track meet. Again, that's up to the school. They may say, well, we'll just do the turf and keep the 8 lanes. And we'll say the district play for soccer, they can play on it, which they can. It's wide enough for district play, but they can't host a regional.
But it's not a regulation soccer field.
No.
Well, and the good thing about it is that.
It's the minimum for regulation. I should restate that. There's a size for district,
Yeah.
then region, and state.
So that would be cheap
What's that? What one?
if they did.
If they went, leave the track at 8 lanes,
Yeah.
possibly. I don't have the breakdown on that. Could
If
possibly
they
do
made
it.
it 6, could they hold regional soccer?
Yes,
Yes.
But if they left it at 8,
They could.
they could. But they can play the regular season, but they couldn't play region. So they're going to have to balance which one. That's up to them. They're going to have to balance which one is more, which
That's
one
their
involves
choice.
the most
Up to the
people
school
and so
board.
forth.
But,
Yeah.
but regardless, whether it's 8 lanes or 6 lanes, it attracts more band competitions.
Sure.
That's a win-win there.
okay.
The,
Instead of paying the university to go up there.
Well, yeah, but here's the thing, the university has to host that, sometimes we do it, but in the old days, when I was in school, we had big band competitions.
Mhm.
And one of the reasons we can't do it now is the football, you don't want them on
Tear it
there,
all up.
tearing the field up.
Right.
And what we didn't figure into this, and something we can prepare for maybe, is what the regular maintenance already is, just.
$30,000 a year. That's
$30,000 a
according to Mr. Moore, and I'm just telling you what he told me. He said $30,000 a year is what it costs right now in the overall maintenance of the football field right now at this day. And there's been a push for quite some time to try to get this done. So I think it's a worthy project, and I think again for the amount of money that we're talking about annually for 10 years, I think we should.
Well, if you can get 10 from physical and 5 from tourism, that's $250,000.
$250,000.
They would-
And it's up to the school then what they. I'm just trying to be a liaison, try to help them out. I think it'd be a benefit and win-win for everybody involved.
Lynn, what do you think?
You put me on the spot.
No comment.
I'll try to say, stick to facts. It is something that we've looked at a long time. When we started looking at it, we probably looked at new to the game. There weren't very many of these fields. And they were issues up front, I'll say that. The first ones that put them in, the technology really wasn't that great, I guess, for the fields, and they weren't lasting that long. It wasn't a cost saving, because they were only guaranteeing them 7 to 10 years, and most of them, that's all they were lasting. It's gotten a lot better, and it gets better each year. Now I think they still only guarantee them for about 10 years, but everybody's saying they're lasting
It's all they'll
15
guarantee
longer.
them for, but.
Right, but they're lasting quite a bit longer than that. So it becomes something that you can look at as feasible. And we have certainly looked at the ability to have a field that could be multi-purpose.
I know this is kind of offset, but I have a cousin that is a football coach in Ripley, West Virginia, where my mother lives. And they did something, their boosters program, football and soccer worked very well together, and they did a $100 club. And that $100 club, the monies that they generated through their boosters, that they still took care of the T-shirts and the sweatshirts and the banquet and all that. But a portion of that money was set aside for future acquisitions such as this, for facilities and weight room and the locker rooms and things of that nature. And what they found out is that worked out great. They would take 20 individuals, whether it's soccer, football boosters, doesn't matter, 20 individuals, 20 members of that booster program to go out in a year's time, every year, in a year's time, do a fundraiser and try to get $100 from 25 individuals, $2,500. Give them a year to do it. Got it. It's kind of funny because my cousin he calls them up, gets $5 from so and so and $10 from so and so, and still get. But anyway, they got together and did that because they know 10 years, 12 years from now they're going to replace that turf.
Right.
Well, in 10 years they got $500,000 towards placing for a new turf, and they're a little bitty town.
Well, that's what's
They're
good
the
about
size of
this.
Salt Lake.
We could do this and help with this with partnership with other players, but you could put back onus back on them. So okay, now
Oh yeah, that has nothing to do with us.
you all need to. You can use that as an example. So now you need to.
That's right.
take
We
it
helped
down.
you
We helped you get this.
get this done. Now the onus is on you all now.
And the good thing about it is you won't have to have all these costs when you redo it.
No, when you redo it, you're just talking about the turf.
Yeah.
I'd like to bring up a couple of questions.
Sure, sure.
So, I believe, from information you shared with me, David, that in our youth programs, we know from our research now that 80% of the participants are county residents, 20% are city residents.
10%.
10%
Little
are
over
city.
10. Yep.
So, we're being asked to pay the same amount as the county. So just want to point that out. We don't have an agreement yet for the usage of the fields.
Other than verbal.
We have a verbal,
Yeah.
right, but,
The
we're,
superintendent. So,
we've got, a varsity football team, a JV football team, and a freshman football team. We have a practice field that's in pretty tough shape, but we have, so there's gonna be 3 games a week, minimum of 3 football games a week on the fields.
well, remember, they play away too. They're not
Yeah.
always at home.
You
That's
only
true.
play about 5 games at home.
So, yeah.
So,
You do have middle school ball too, you can't ignore that there's
Yeah.
an 8th grade team.
right,
Coach
so
Middle.
my concern is that,
Scheduling.
scheduling
Sure.
are, I'm certainly not picking on any particular coach here, but coaches change. We've seen that, we know that. And then all of a sudden, one particular sport says, hey, this is my field, this is not your field. So the agreement is very important for me.
Sure. It would be for me too, or I'm wasting my time, because I'm not gonna do this unless we have an agreement that says every Saturday morning,
From,
from date to date, that every Saturday morning from date to date, when we have our schedule done for youth football, that our kids get to use it.
Right.
That'll have to be done, or I'm out. Also, and again, according to schedules, but if we have the opportunity to use, and again, we'd have to get with them, on inclement weather days. I know that might be tough, but on inclement weather days that we play soccer, typically we schedule around a lot of the high school events with our soccer even. If there's no one out there, we should be able to utilize it for our youth as well.
But we're also last position on that. And
With the
so-
soccer, yeah, you're probably, because I don't know what the weather's gonna
Right.
bring, so.
And,
But we could schedule ahead of time though.
but we don't know the weather at a time.
Yeah, well, we could actually schedule games and say, well, regardless of the weather, we're gonna schedule ahead of time.
Based on their master schedule.
Yeah.
so I just see, I see this really being geared towards the football program. But if we can work out a schedule and accommodate these other sports, great. But I'm concerned that schedule-wise, I can see Saturdays for sure being free and access. Question is, how much should the city contribute to something that's gonna provide to 10% of the kids that are gonna play and on Saturdays?
Right, very good point.
Well, the city right now,
I'm paying $1,500 anyway, so you might as well deduct that from the 10.
yeah, but the city right now
I'm ready to
provides
say.
for 90% of the kids to play youth sports. I mean, they.
I'm not saying that's right.
I know that, but I'm saying.
I mean, this just is an issue that the county continually ignores, and it falls on us to be the good guy.
Well,
And so now we're thinking about doing something new, something new, and the city is again providing for all those kids who aren't paying city taxes.
but they are paying fees to play in the sports.
Yeah.
Well, then, if they're paying enough fees, we don't need to put any money in. With the fees covered.
And I understand, I'm right with you on this, but like you said, above and beyond this, this isn't about a city-county thing, this is about these kids,
In the community.
yeah.
Yeah,
And
you
I
know,
think,
it's-
I agree with you, and that the county, I think the county should put more money
I
to
do
it
too.
based on the fact.
But we can't let them hold back progress of the community.
How long are we gonna keep fronting the bill then, Mayor? Why is it always us that has to be the good guy?
I would.
We just continue being the good guy.
I
We
would
don't care what
say,
the
I would
community
say, you know, I don't know, I'm sure that if there's a fiscal court member in here, I'm being devil's advocate, don't take me to heart on this. I'm sure if there's a fiscal court member in here, they may say, well, we pay for this. Or, you know, we're paying for this. And
I am a county resident, I pay
understand.
county taxes.
I understand.
I'm paying for everything,
I understand.
don't forget that. I'm already paying county taxes.
So do we stop progress, that like, I mean,
All I'm saying is here, we're being asked to pay the same amount as the county.
I can go tomorrow morning and ask them to pay more. You know, I'm just, you know, I'm just trying my best to get something done here.
I think the most important thing is
We can do this all day long.
yeah, if we didn't have it,
Again, now you're making me the bad guy.
No. I'm talking about.
we can find issues.
No, I
with
agree
anything.
with you.
Trust me, Don, what I'm saying is,
I
this,
think what Tom's saying is this is another opportunity for us to approach the county to try to make.
Sure, I agree
and
with
that's
Tom.
why he's going tomorrow.
That's why I'm going tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm not
I
arguing
agree
with you, John, I agree with you.
But you're saying we're gonna pay, you're coming with a proposal that has us paying the same amount as the county.
Well, I could ask for more.
I think it was a starting point for him.
Maybe that's my fault. I'll take the blame.
Yeah, if
I-
you ask for 10, they're not gonna say, oh, we wanna get 15. I mean, that's just, I understand your position.
I know.
I'm not picking
I
on
guess
you.
I know ahead of time what's going to be told to me tomorrow with that jail.
Sorry.
And
Okay.
so I'm trying to do the best I can.
I
And
So
if it's
they're,
my fault,
and the county's not gonna put up 10, and then the mayor's gonna feel bad and say, well, we need to put it all up.
No, I didn't say that.
Okay, I have a money question. Here you have School Superintendent Marvin Moore has indicated that if the community can help with this project, a loan could be procured locally for this project. Okay, does he know, you know this, Glenn, that the community has to put up X amount before before this loan can be procured? I just like to know what kind of factual information is behind this statement?
I don't want to speak for Marvin,
I
and
know
my
you
understanding of it is that we appreciate you trying to be a liaison between all the groups. And it would be, if we've got community support, then it brings us back to the table. Our board hasn't discussed this yet. I think they're going to discuss it tomorrow night. And it would be more of,
Right.
this is a possibility, that we didn't think this was a possibility with the community stepping up. What can we do about it at that point?
Right.
Have we gone on to see, what those payments would be on our side? No, we have not.
But no financial institution has said, the community has to step up with this much, or you can't get the loan? I mean,
No.
have those, okay.
I think
This is
that's just a way of showing how what the
Right,
payback
no,
would
I
be.
understand, I just wanna know if there was factual information behind that.
Are you gonna go tomorrow and present?
Yeah, I'm going to
Tomorrow
fiscal
night?
court tomorrow.
No,
No,
It's
tomorrow night.
tomorrow morning.
No.
No,
no,
he's
no,
going
he's
to
talking about
physical
school
court. He's
board.
not going to the board.
Oh, okay.
but Tom, no, I agree with you. Hey, I'm on board with you. I'm just trying.
Yeah.
I can only, I'm just trying the best way I know how. Yeah, honestly,
Have you talked?
truth be known, I think I should be able to go asking for another $50,000 a year towards recreation and capital improvements.
That's another reason I think we should have a
But-
joint meeting to talk about
We're
these
going
things.
to.
But capital improvements are important, and this is something that I felt like when I first initially started looking at this, I said if Tom and you all said that's fine, we'll do it, but you got to come out of your budget. Well, I don't want to do that, but if I had to, I could. I know I could. I know what we have left over out of our budget every year.
Well, the only way
So,
I'm for it is
but-
if you get the county put in. If you don't, then I'm not for it.
Okay.
Well, I think we all feel that way.
Yeah,
I'm not,
that's respectful. I understand that.
and I think if what we could send the county is, what we could send them is, that we are behind this. We'll do it if they do it, and regardless of the amount, we'll do it if they'll do it, match us basically. Yeah, if we can get more, great. But now you've talked to a couple of
Yeah,
physical
I'm not
I don't
saying that
like
at
the
all.
idea of
Well,
matching, they
if they've
should,
already gotten this PowerPoint, and I assume they have, because they've got their packet too, correct?
No, I didn't put it in there.
Well, you might want to look at that one slide and then take that out, of course.
I can.
Have you talked to couple of
I've
them?
already talked to Ray and Daryl and
Which slide is he talking
and
about?
Stanton.
The
10,000 each.
The 10,000 each.
What was your,
Well, first I got everybody in theory is behind it now. Let me point that out. Absolutely behind it. However, the jail, and without going into too many details of what I know, and media and everything, but they're worried about the jail, the funding of the jail.
now, what if this? What if county doesn't do it? What if tourism picks up the difference?
I guess that's what my next question was going to be to you all, and which
Let's not go
Bruce
there.
already said.
Let's not
I
go
would
there.
prefer not to play the what if game. If you need
All
to
right.
report back to us, then we can talk
No,
about
you
it.
just need to see if everybody's
I will.
on board.
Then we'll play
and
ball.
I will.
Then
Fair
we'll-
enough.
Go from there.
Tourism's going to be approached as well. That's a good point. I think tourism
And I think Guardian.
might be interested. Guardian's a good
Yeah.
place there too. So, but no, Tom, I fully agree with you. I didn't mean to come across that way. It's just I guess I, like you, get frustrated. It seems like we butt heads with other entities. We're all trying to do what's best for the community, and sometimes you get frustrated, feel like I'm just spinning my wheels in the mud. So, but I understand.
Yep.
All
All
right.
right, thank you, Dave. Good job.
Again, we don't have a written agreement, so we don't know what that looks like. We don't know what the other players are gonna contribute. And I guess the last thing is how, we certainly need it, it would be beneficial, it would benefit the kids, but again, it could be just a very narrow group of kids who actually get to use it.
And I mean, my big question always when thinking about money,
The
voting
day
on
camp
money.
program too in the summer that we utilize it. But
The
yeah,
what
go ahead.
program?
My day camp
Oh,
program.
they can, yeah. Is that the best thing we can do in our community with our money for the greatest number of kids? That's always the
At a
question.
sum of
And I know.
$10,000 a year, I would say yes.
Okay.
Yeah, for that. Yeah.
For that amount of money, yes.
Well, and the thing about it is, I'm with you and Tom. I agree. I think we all agree with that.
Mhm.
We work with Joyce on that. The agreement would have to be very specific and have to be agreed upon, and I'm sure.
Sure.
So, yeah, I mean, we're either, it's this and this, or no.
Right.
If we see everybody comes to the table,
Okay.
the agreement has to be a certain way. I'm with you all. Thank you, Dave.
So come back next month.
Once you come back with, in January and report back to us, and we'll go from there. Is that fine with everybody?
Okay.
That's good. Appreciate it, Dave. Thank you for your time. All right. Now I can move on, I guess, to Homeland Security number 5.
Well, let me say one more thing. David, thanks for taking the initiative to do this.
Yes.
Yeah,
Thank you.
you're the one
Very
moving
nice.
it forward, Dave.
Thanks.
Number 5, announcement of Homeland Security grant awarded to fire department.
Congratulations.
Yes.
You want to tell us real quick about it,